What's going on, YouTube? So today I actually wanted to talk about what it's like to go through a full college experience, whether you're a college student and you are in a business management program, or you are in a
Nursing, and also sometimes going back and doing the non-traditional route, which is something that I also have experience in.
right, and that's something I can talk about as well as being non-traditional because I started off non-traditional. We both did, and we made our way through the university. Of course, eventually we made our way through the university, and this is where we're at now. But if you like content like this, where we're going to be talking about certain things as far as going to college and what it takes to get through these programs successfully, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and click that bell for notifications. Okay, so what we're going to do, guys, is we're just going to explain to you a little background about ourselves because I think that'd be the best thing for us to do. Just so you can know where we're coming from and you can be with us each step of the way so you can understand what we're talking about. First, I actually went to three different universities. I started off at Texas College, which is a private school. Later, I went to Stephen F. Austin, which are all my universities are in the state of Texas. And I finished off at the University of Houston downtown, and that's where I earned my bachelor's degree in psychology and as well my master's degree in business administration.
So originally I went to the University of Texas in Tyler, which is actually where we met. So I went to university there for a little while. Didn't exactly go as planned. I took a little bit of time off, got some different certifications along the way. Then I went back actually to a junior college and I finished off my bachelor's degree at Sam Houston State University. So little twists and turns, but that's life. And that's where we're going to give you a little bit of tips to see how you can navigate those things.
Right, and just so that you know, guys, we're gonna be completely genuine. We're not gonna beat around the bush. We're gonna tell you guys what it was like for us because we were parents as well. But we started off, in college, but we became parents, and we still had to continue to push forward. So first things first, first year of college, straight out of high school, our experiences were kind of different, to say the least.
Yeah.
We just two different households, two different. Growing up, we grew up differently. We had different beliefs and different things that we wouldn't. I could say we wouldn't seeing eye to eye on some things at the start, and then.
Yeah. And still sometimes we don't, but that's okay. Again, that's life.
But yeah, that's just how it goes. Especially when you're meeting new people, views are going to be different. So there's nothing wrong with that. But the best thing when it comes to different views is just having an understanding of why that person believes that way or think the way they do, and it's just simply because of the way they were reared as a child. All right, what should you be looking for in order to get the best experience from your education? Because you're going to be paying a lot of money to get these college degrees. So one thing that we want to do is provide you guys. Let's say we're going to provide you guys some tips to how to navigate your university or how to put yourself in the best position for success. And the first thing is when you are looking for a course to take, a very important course that you need to take, and especially if it's one of the difficult courses of your degree plan, number one, make sure you go to ratemyprofessor.com. All right, because it's going to show you. As much as you would like to think that the ratemyprofessor.com is not accurate, it's pretty accurate. Would you say?
Yes, and unfortunately for myself, my freshman year of college, I had no idea about Rate My Professor. So I ended up getting stuck with a lot of 8 a.m. courses with some professors that I probably didn't want to take. So I'll say that too. Not only Rate My Professor, once you get on campus, you're going to meet probably some people who've been there before, some upperclassmen. Become friends with them. They can give you a little bit of the ins and outs of the university, clubs to join. That way you're also not lonely, unless you brought somebody with you to college. You're new. It's like starting all over again. So you don't want to be all alone in college. I know some people say, oh, I'm antisocial, whatever. You don't want to be alone in college. It's a social place. So meet new people, upperclassmen, other freshmen, whatever. Figure out some things together.
And with that being said, guys, enjoy your time in college, but make sure the first things first is you need to study. It's easy to get wrapped up into that partying 2 to 3 times a week, drinking every weekend. That's easy to do because nobody's going to be behind you. Making sure you're doing your projects, you're conducting your research. Nobody's going to be doing that. You're pretty much going to be on your own, and it's going to be important for you to install some type of discipline in your studies.
That's very true. First, I want to say we do not condone any underage drinking. So that's number one. Okay. And to get to that, not only is he's talking about the school portion of it, you have to think about some things. If you're not in a dorm, see, as for me, I went another non-traditional route. I had to get an apartment. So if you're going to be working, how many hours can you handle and still make sure you have time to study? Because that's very important. Where are you going to be staying? Are you living close to campus? Can you walk? Do you have a car? All those kind of things that you need to think about before you even start getting your first textbook, okay? So it's a lot. It does sound like a lot, but you can do it. We did it. We're sitting right here. Hopefully we can help you through this.
So that just leads us to our next tip. Dorm versus off-campus living situation.
Oh, okay. So you stayed in the dorm, right? When we first went on?
I stayed in the dorm.
I stayed in an apartment. First, I actually had roommates, but it was off campus. So tell us a little bit about what it was like living in the dorm.
So I feel that it's more important for especially freshmen or sophomores to stay in dorms. And the reason is because when you are off campus, you don't feel any obligation to school. At least that's how I felt when I was on campus. I felt obligated to go to class in the morning because I was in a dorm, knowing very well I had to get up in the morning and go to class. But when I moved off campus, it kind of was reversed.
And you know what? I will agree with that. So I lived off campus, even though I was close enough. Usually I was close enough to walk. It was a good little walk. But I was in my apartment. I had my own bathroom. I had my own, the kitchen, my own little refrigerator. So I was like, oh, good, I'm living good. And there were some times that 8 o'clock class came around fast and I could just sleep in because I could. I had my own room. My roommates had their own bathroom and everything. So it does make a difference. I know a lot of people want their own space, and I did enjoy having my own space. But you have to think about how disciplined you're going to be. Make sure you get up and go into class. 8 a.m. classes are not the same as in high school. So if you can avoid them, please do.
Yeah, I'm not a morning person at all. I can, even when I was, even when I had morning classes, I think I was. My only saving grace was that I had football practice at 7 a.m. So I got up at 7 a.m. But had I not, on days I didn't have football practice, I didn't have to report at 7 a.m. I was not making the 8 o'clock class on time. And that's just because of, like I said, nobody's over your shoulder telling you what you need to do when you get to this point.
That's right. You have to wake yourself up. You are completely responsible for yourself. That's another thing I will say, one of the cons about living in an apartment. Because we didn't have like the meal plan as part of our tuition or anything like that when we live off campus. So I had to go grocery shopping. Yeah. I had to go cook out my own food. If I did want to go to the on-campus cafeteria, I had to pay extra because I didn't have that included in my tuition because I was off campus. So that's something else you have to think about. Like, who wants to get up if you're used to being cooked for at home, unless you love cooking? You have to go grocery shopping. You had to do all those kind of things. You had to maintain basically your own living quarters. And that was a lot, on top of being a freshman in college.
Well, the last advice I want to give you guys is knowing when and where to buy your textbooks.
That is very good. That's another thing. Unfortunately for myself, I was a little bit naive when I first went off to college, so I went straight to the bookstore. And if you have not learned yet, textbooks are one of the most expensive things besides tuition that you will have to pay for. You better get some Amazon. You better rent some books. Like I said again, if you find any upperclassmen or friends that you're going to be taking classes with, like y'all can purchase books together and study together. You can see if someone's willing to donate them to you or give them for you half price, because going to buy new textbooks, except for the classes that you have to, unfortunately, a lot of the math classes, they make you buy a code or something like that.
Or they have their own university book.
Oh, that's true too.
Which you can't really, they starting to monopolize the math books and some other books as well.
Also some of your sciences. Now you may have to pay a lot for your science books, because that's another thing. Maybe more of like if you're in biology, those kind of classes. Be prepared to pay anywhere between $150 to $300 for those books, but not all. Like Englishes, you should not be paying a lot of money for that.
So, and last but not least, guys, I don't want you guys to feel like I know I said that the textbook, the when in knowing when and where to buy textbooks, but your resources. There are so many resources to utilize that I wish I would have used when I was in college. For example, there are new websites or new sites where you can go and actually pay for what you need. Like as far as tutoring, like for instance, you could go to my Fiverr account and I can actually review your English documents, your papers, your research study, your research papers, and it's endless. It's just so many resources. Chegg,
Check is good.
Chegg. It's so many websites you can use nowadays to be able to not fall behind, because there's going to be cases where you just simply swamped, especially if you're taking over 5 classes. I know some people who are taking 21 hours a semester.
Yeah.
Which is beyond my mind. I think the most classes I ever took was between 13 and 14 hours a semester. I couldn't do it. I went to summer school every year.
Yeah, see, and unfortunately, again, I was my freshman year that student trying to take all those courses, and it was a lot. I'm not even gonna lie, I had to drop a couple of them, and that, that's something that you have to be mindful of. That again, high school and college is different, especially with all the responsibilities, because I was paying rent, I was paying all my bills, I was actually being an adult and trying to go to school full time. So those are things you have to think about as well.
Yeah.
You know what? Also, quick note of that, Quizlet. You forgot to mention that. Quizlet is your friend.
Yes. Quizlet,
yes, go to Quizlet.
Chegg, Fiverr.
Mm-hmm.
All those are websites.
Yeah.
Whenever you're done, I'll put the links into the description below. But these are all resources that you can utilize to help you in your college experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you're going to go to college algebra, calculus, whatever it is you're taking, computer science, biology, biochemistry, you're going to need help. I don't care what that professor is saying. In some of those courses, there's going to be times where you're just going to be stumped. Utilize those resources and get the help so you can better understand what is it that you're trying to learn or what is it that you need to know.
That's true. And you don't always have to spend a lot of money. I know, again, college students usually are broke unless you come from a wealthy family. So places like that, like if you're on YouTube now, utilize YouTube. YouTube University was a great resource when I was in nursing school. And if there's something that you need help with, if you want us to talk about something, if you need other resources, tips on studying, all those kind of things, put that down in the comments so that way we can talk about it. You can even come back here and we can help you guys out.
Right. It's important, guys. If you guys have any questions or would like to know anything else, especially anything specific, make sure you drop a comment in the comment section below, because like I said, we are together. We have almost 20 years of college education. Like we have so much to offer. We could literally talk all day about what it is to go and get a college degree. I mean, we have 4 together. Plus some certifications that and not only that, but we are professionals. She's a nurse, and I work professionally in the professional settings as well. I also have a startup business company, so we understand what it takes and what you need to do in order to get what you're trying to get where you need to go. So let us help you, because if we could go back and talk to our 19, 18-year-old selves, some of the things that we are saying right now, we would have definitely welcomed that information.
It would have definitely been a lot easier having a resource. Also, I know, we are in a very digital age now as well. Mm-hmm. I graduated back in 2007. We did have, computers and everything like that, but our small town, I didn't have all the resources that are available now to everyone else. So that's another difference as well.
Right. So you're saying small, like versus graduating from a smaller town versus
a larger. That's another difference as well. Because I grew up in a very small town, going and moving to a city where my university was. It's different. So that's why I say again, resources, getting comfortable, learning new things about the world. You meet a lot of different people. It'll be great. It's a great experience, but it also can be a little terrifying. So again, I said we're here to help you through that. All right, well, guys, thank you for listening to us. I was Nesie.
I'm Isaac, guys. Once again, thank you for coming to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button, as well as the notification. And until next time, I'll see you next time at the Isaac Lewis channel. All right?
All right, bye-bye.
Take care, guys.